Hello and welcome to this tutorial for the board game Brussels 1897. It's not an action-packed game, but that doesn't mean it's boring, and definitely not that it's not a good game. I like it quite a lot. And here's how you play it. You are going to play 4 rounds. Whoever has the most points wins the game. You get some of those points at the end of the game, some points at the end of each round, and some points while playing. Later I'll explain how you get those points, but first I'll tell you how to play it. But again, you play 4 rounds and you get points at the end and after each round and sometimes immediately. Now, what do you do when it's your turn? Let's look at the table. There's this section and there's this section. When it's your turn, you can do 3 things. You can do something with this area, or you can do something with this area, or you can pass. Then you are completely out of the round. If you're the first to pass, you get 3 money from the bank. If you're not the first, you get 1 money when you pass. So again, when it's your turn, do something here, or pass and get money. Let's start with this area. You have your money and you have your cards. When it's your turn, you can buy one of these cards. How much you want to pay is up to you. For example, I could say I want this card, and I choose to pay 2 money for it. So, I take one of my cards with a 2 on it, and exchange it with the card from the table. And I pay 2 money to the bank. That's it. Choose a card, exchange it with one of your cards, and pay as much money as it says on the card that you just put on the table. Next, this area. Here you can choose between 3 actions. This one, or this one, or this one. If you want to do any of these actions, you have to slide one of your cards under it, and then you can do the action. But there are rules. 1. If you want to do this action, but there is already a card there, you have to put 2 cards there. And if another player wants to do this action, he or she then has to put 3 cards there. So, rule number 1 for this area, you always have to put down 1 more card at an action than there are already there. And rule number 2, at the end of the round, you count up all the cards that were slid under. Whoever has the most has to put one of their cards in jail. For example, if I put 1 here and 2 here, I've got 3 cards in total in this area. And with 3 cards, that's the most of all players. So I choose one of my cards and put it in jail. That's it for this area. Put 1 or more cards under the actions to do the actions. At the end of the round, see who has to put a card in jail. Those are the 3 things you can do when it's your turn. You can pass. You can do this area by exchanging one of your cards with the one that you buy and then pay money for it. Or you can do this area where you slide your cards under the actions to be allowed to do the actions. Now, let's have a look at what all of this means. First, let's check out this area. This is art. You can buy a piece of art with money. Put the art in your own collection. You can buy as much as you want, and you can buy the same piece of art multiple times. Then we have this, building materials. You use these to build buildings. This one card counts as 2 building materials. You add them to your own collection. What for? I'll tell you now. Next, this is money. If you want the money, you need a piece of art to sell. So, exchange the card, pay the money, discard your art, and you put 3 money in your collection. These are buildings. If you want one, first, of course, you have to exchange one of your cards and pay money to take this card. And then you have to discard building materials to build this building in your area. Your first building costs you 1 material, so that's half of this card. Since you can't cut cards in half or get change, all you can do is pay the whole card back to the supply. Your second building costs 2 materials. Again, that's just 1 card. As you can guess, your third building costs 3 materials, so that's 2 material cards. Your fourth costs 4, and so on. So this is a building. When you want one, you have to pay money for it and building materials. And last we have this one. This is a nobleman. Each nobleman has a special power. What those powers are, you'll have to look up in the rulebook. What do you do with these? First, you'll have to buy them. As always, exchange it with one of your cards and pay for that. Then you get to use the special power of this particular nobleman. And last, you choose if you want to discard this person or keep it with you. If you keep it with you, you have the possibility to use the special power once every next round. But at the end of the game, you have to pay 2 money for each nobleman in your collection. If you can't pay, you lose points. So again, take a nobleman to use his special power, and then decide if you want to discard him or put him in your collection and use him again once in the next rounds. Quick recap. This is art. This is money that you get for selling art. This is building materials. And this is a building that you can only put in your collection if you discard a building material card. And this is a nobleman with a special power that you can use once and then discard or keep him to use him again later, but you'll have to pay money for him at the end of the game. You may have noticed there's actually still one more card. This card, the exhibition. You can take this card when it's your turn, and you take it the same way you take all the other cards. Exchange it with one of your own and pay the money. But what happens then? Then everything stops, and you're all going to have an art exhibition together. Going to show off the art that you have in your collection. Starting with the player who took this card, show 1 piece of art and immediately get 2 points for that. Remember that at the start I told you that sometimes you get points during the game? This is it. This is how you get points instantly. So again, show a piece of art from your collection and get 2 points. And when I show this piece of art, the other players can't show this one as well. We're not going to have an exposition showing the same pieces of art. So the next player can either show a different piece of art or pass. Then the next player, same thing. You keep going around the table until either all the players have passed or all 4 pieces of art are on the table. And then this short pause in the game is over. You take back the art in your collection. Yes, you keep it. And whoever took this card will be the starting player for the next round. Again, the exhibition is to show off your art and get 2 points per piece. You show 1 piece when it's your turn. So, this is what this area is about. There's more, but first I'll say what this area is. Remember how to play it? You just put one of your cards under it or more, and then you get to do this action. So I'll explain the actions. This one is get 5 money from the bank. Easy. The next one is take 2 cards from a deck of your choice and choose one of those to keep. Of course, if you want to take the money, you have to discard art. And if you want the building, you have to discard building materials. Basically, this action is to do this without exchanging a card and having to pay for it. And the last one is this. Remember that I told you that if you have a nobleman in your collection that you could use his special power again in the next round? That's what this card is for. I slide my card under, I turn my nobleman sideways to indicate that I've used it this round, and I get the special power again. At the end of the round, he goes back up. There's more to this though. Can I only do this with one nobleman? No. You could maybe use multiple noblemen in your collection. I'll show you. Let's pretend I have 3 noblemen in my collection. And let's pretend my player token here is on space 2 of this track with a little crown on top of it. This track is for the nobleman. So I've got 3 guys and I'm on space 2. That means when I do the nobleman action up here, I get to use the special power of 2 of my noblemen. I've got 3, so I can choose which 2. A recap. Slide your card here to get 5 money. Slide your card here to take 2 cards from one of the decks and keep 1. And slide your card here to do the special powers of 1 or more noblemen again. That's already a lot of information. We're almost there. As I said, you get points at the end of the game. You get points instantly. You already know that one. That with showing the art exhibition. And there's getting points at the end of each round. There are 4 rounds before the game ends. I'll now explain how you get points at the end of the round. For me, that is the most fun element of the game. Let me first set this up a little bit to explain it better. And while I'm doing that, I might already have a nice number of videos uploaded by now. I did only launch my channel less than 2 weeks ago when shooting this video. I'm very happy with the number of subscribers and views I have so far, and I hope it keeps going. Also, keep in mind that my number 1 goal is for people to put on one of my videos when they want an explanation for themselves or their friends. I try to keep them as short as possible without missing important details or rushing through things, and so far I hope I'm doing a good job. Alright, back to the game. Scoring at the end of each round. First, let's deal with the columns. As you can see, we have 4 columns here. These cards at the bottom were randomly placed at the start of the round, and they decide what the reward is for each column. How do you decide the winner of a column? You may already have guessed it. Every card that was placed here by you or another player has a number on it. The higher the number, the more money you had to pay. But that could pay off now. You look at the whole column and see who has the highest number. In this case, yellow has 2 points and green has 1 point. So, yellow is the winner and gets this reward. And you get to keep doing that for each column. In case of a tie, you both get the reward. Again, at the end of each round, go one by one over each column. Whoever has the highest number wins the reward of that particular column. Let's have a look at the rewards. This one means you get to take one of your cards out of jail and put it back into your hand. This means you slide up one space on this track. This one will let you go up one on this track, and this one brings you up one space on this track. What are they? The one with the crown, you might remember. This one shows you how many of your noblemen from your collection you get to use when it's your turn for this action. The next one is for buildings. This decides how many points you get for each building that you own at the end of the game. For example, let's say at the end of the game, I'm on space 2 of this track, and I own 3 buildings in my collection. That means at the end of the game, I get 2 points per building, and that's 6 points. Let me repeat it. If you win the column with this card at the bottom, you get to take a card out of jail. For this one, you go up here. This one bumps you up here. And this one lets you go up here. And we haven't talked about this one yet. This shield means you get points for shields. Let's go back here. So, you get rewards at the end of the game for columns. And the other thing that you might get something for at the end of each round is shields. If we bring these cards together, you can see that together they form shields. Just like the columns, you have to determine who the winner is. This time we don't count the numbers, but the colors. So in this case, the winner of this one shield is this one. And what do you get then? Let's go back to the board. Here we have this same shield again. The player token is on space 2 here. That means you get 2 points for every shield that you win. Do this for every completed shield you see, just like this one. It's not completed, so it doesn't count. Go over all the shields, decide who the winner is based on color, and give that player the points. In case the shield is a tie, both players get the points. And you get as many points as where your player token is on the shield track. Little recap. End of each round, rewards for columns, and then points for shields. And there you have it. You know what to do during a round and what happens when a round ends. So let me end this tutorial by going over the extra scoring at the end of the game. But feel free to look at the rulebook at any time, because all of this is written on the back page. First, you must pay 2 money for each nobleman in your collection. If you can't, you lose points. Next, points for your buildings. As I said a moment ago, at the end of each round your player token could go up on this track, and that's how many points you will be getting per building at the end of the game. This is when you do that. Then you get 1 point for every unused building material card that you still have in your collection. Easy. Also, whoever has the exposition card at the end of the game gets 2 points. And last, deal with the columns again. But this time, instead of looking at this, you look at the smaller symbols here. The winner of each column gets the reward of whatever the symbols at the bottom say. What they mean, I'll skip for now, so you don't overload on information. It's written on the back of the rulebook. Try to have a peek some point before the 3rd round. So, again, at the end of the game, pay for your noblemen, get points for your buildings, get points for unused building material cards, get 2 points if you have the Expo card, and the winner of each column gets points for whatever the smaller symbols say on the cards at the bottom. Quite a lot to come out of such a relatively small box, but it's worth it, I think. I hope you feel like you understand how to play it now, and that you'll enjoy it as much as I do. Thank you for watching, and see you for the next one.